Hello, I'm Stephanie Brown, the Director of Aviation Safety here at Purdue University. So unfortunately, we can't eliminate all risks in aviation, but what we do is we plan and we train for that. So pilots will go through special training for emergency response procedures. They have special checklists that they execute and train over and over again. Also, airport management is in the same house where they practice their procedures. So if that happens or when that happens, we can provide the best care to the passengers as possible. So some things we can do as passengers is we can follow all flight instructions. So wearing our seat belts, making sure our chair is fully up, because that will allow a full space to egress if needed. Also wearing closed-toed shoes, so if you have to exit the airplanes, your personal safety is good, and also dress for the weather that where you're flying into is great best practices to do when you're flying. So honoring what the safety briefing is when you enter the aircraft is the most vital part of any emergency response. That means that we're listening, and when it's your time to exit the aircraft, you're not grabbing your personal belongings or anything of that nature, because that slows down the process. And also, if the flight attendant is asking you for help of helping extra passengers, please do so if you're fit and able to, because that will just help everyone. Our ideal goal is to evacuate in 90 seconds or less. So winter weather affects runways because it adds a type of layer of buildup on the runway, and so airport management works very tirelessly and hard to keep that as clear as possible. But being outside in the elements, sometimes that is impossible to eliminate, and so what we use is a traction test. And so the airport is able to provide those readings to air traffic control and ultimately the pilots, so they can add that into their calculation before the landing. And so ultimately what that does is, do they need to use more runway space? Then that will allow them, and air traffic control will put them on the correct runway for the length that they need to make that safe landing.